What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson with moneybass.com, out here for a quick trip on the lake so I can show you guys my spy bait setup, rod, reel, line, cast, retrieve, and how I catch fish with that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get moving. What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson with moneybass.com, and today I'm going to go over my spy bait setup, basically the lure, the line, the rod, the reel, and yeah, my leader and everything like that. So basically I'm currently using a 13 fishing rod. This was a friend of mine had this rod. He had it set up, but he wasn't really into throwing spy bait, so gave me a pretty good deal on it. So I was like, hey, let me go ahead and test it out, see how it works out. But this one is a 7-1 medium fast, and it is a Fate Black 13 fishing rod. The rod itself, for me, it works pretty good. Make sure you stay to the end. I'll put a few clips on here from where I did just recently place pretty good in a tournament, and the spy bait was the major factor in me being able to take a first place win in that tournament. But the rod itself, to me, it performed pretty good. I only lost one fish. For me, I would say the only thing is that I would like something with a little more a faster tip on there. But other than that, the rod worked out pretty good for me. But I think that would probably help out on the cast. And also, I put a link to the full tournament video in there where you can see where I lost that fish at. And pretty much it's probably because I didn't have my drags properly set, because like I said, I don't really throw the spy bait too often unless I see the situation where I'll find some suspended fish or something like that. So I'll count it out, I'll cast it out, count it down to that depth that I need it to be, and try to bring it right through those fish. The reel that I use, I pretty much use this reel for my shaky head drop shot. It's a reel that I really like. It's not expensive at all, but it has a really great drag system on it. It is the Fluger SP30, and they have this version, and then they also have a version that's I think it's like a SP30 Lady or something like that, and that's basically because the color on it is a little different. Actually, hold on one second, let me just show you. All right, so that is the other one, so you can see the difference in color on that one. So this is my drop shot rod right here. So I use the different colors just so when I'm in a situation where I need to pick up the rod real quick to drop down, or if I see fish, I can easily look down and distinguish between the different colors on the reels themselves. As far as the line, I use a braid for my main line, and I believe this is either 20 or 30 pound braid, and I bring that to 8-pound line. And I like throwing this on, I use Seaguar Red Label, but you could probably use InvisX or just any other line that you feel has a real good amount of strength to it and doesn't nick really easy. Because once you start getting the bites on these fish, a lot of times you'll be bringing them over brush piles. So if you do get pulled into a brush pile, you do want something that you feel confident it's not going to snap on you, and you can kind of work that fish out of that brush pile. The baits, let's see, we went over the rod, reel, line. In the main line, I did mention 8-pound line. Some people like to use 7-pound line on that, but I found that 8 works out pretty good for me. Now let me just show you a few of the baits that I have. I don't have too many of them, but let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so now when it comes to spy baits, I really only look at two things. The weather conditions, meaning if it's cloudy like it is today, every once in a while the sun may come out, but for the most part this is an overcast day. The sun isn't going to be out too much. So in those cases, I like throwing maybe like a bone color or a white color spy bait. The other situation would be if the sun is out and you know it's kind of bright like it is right now. The sun just came out a little bit. There we go. Sun's coming out, and at that point, to me, is when I like to throw something that has some flash to it. So I just picture the bait coming through the water, And what they do is they have a real slow wobble to it. And maybe you can kind of see that flash on there. But I think that when it's in the water, that sun is hitting that at just the right angle, and it's giving that kind of flash to it as it's wobbling like that coming through the water on the retrieve. So pretty much the ones that I have here are the ones that I would throw on sunny days. I have to go and buy a few more of the bone color and the colors that I would throw on overcast days. But like if you look at that one, you can kind of see how when it's rocking. This one right here can be used on, I guess, either type of situation. And I'm not sure what color any of these baits are, because like I said, I just kind of look, do they have the flash that I need, or is it a bait that I would be throwing on overcast days? So this one right here kind of has that same shine to it as it's coming through the water. But that's pretty much it, guys. Pretty much I'm looking for either something with flash to it whenever the sun is out, and a bone or white color whenever it is overcast. All right, so I guess that's about it for spy baits, guys. It has been a pretty good bait for me. I like throwing the spy bait. On the hook set for that is pretty much the same as setting the hook on a crankbait. You just kind of want to reel into it and side sweep it. You don't want to do like a heavy hook set on it, because when the fish are hitting this, a lot of times they'll tap at it a few times first before they take it. Sometimes they'll take it and it'll be a real hard strike. On those cases, it's pretty much a done deal. But other than that, I would just kind of cast it out, take my time with the retrieve. Sometimes you may want to speed it up or slow it down depending on the reaction of the fish. But that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave your questions, comments down in the comment section. And as always, make sure you read the description. I put links to other videos and things like that in there that will be very helpful. I will put the link to the full tournament video. It's basically a part 1 and a part 2 to that, so you can watch that entire video. That was a pretty good day on the lake where the spy bait really shined for me and was able to get me that win at the scales. All right, guys, let me go ahead and show you what I'm doing with this spy bait. Basically, I am making a long cast, and then once that bait hits the water, I'm going to count that down to say 10 to 15 feet, depending on the water depth that I'm sitting in. Right now I'm sitting in about 25 feet of water, so I'll count that down to about 15 feet. If there's a brush pile or something out there that I've marked, obviously you want to count it down to above that brush pile. So the count cadence that I do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can pretty much count it at that cadence right there. Once it gets down to the depth that I want, then I do a very slow retrieve. Let me go ahead and show you. All right, so once that hits, I'll put a little slack in the line, and I'll count it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'll go ahead and just slowly start reeling. See that cadence right there? That's about the speed that I reel. And this is a 5:2 to 1 gear ratio reel. And that's it. And I keep the pole basically at a 90-degree angle from the line, so that way when the fish taps it, it'll allow the rod to give it a little bend. So some people may fish it a little different, but this is the way that I choose to fish the spy bait. What I would say is when you're out on the water, go ahead and check it out. Just play around with it a little bit and see what works best for you guys. All right, that spy bait still doing some work. This feels like a good fish right here too. Just don't jump. Come on, dive back down, dive back down. All right, there we go. He's going back down. Come on, baby. I need you to have some weight to you. Oh. 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 Oh yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.